September 2nd, 1945, marked the end of World War II. 65 years later, on September 2nd, 2010, State Representative Herb Adams, along with veterans of World War II, assembled at the USS Portland Monument on Munjoy Hill to honor all those who served in the 5-year world conflict. Herb and 2 other veterans reflected on the lessons of war.
We gather to mark the 65th anniversary today of the end of the Second World War, September 2nd, 1945, the official end of over 5 years of combat that encircled the globe.
I'm here with State Representative Herb Adams. Herb, tell us a little bit about today's event. What is the meaning of having this event?
The meaning of it is twofold, actually. Number one, there appeared to be nothing public scheduled for the 65th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. So I and others got together and said we should do this because it's important. And that leads us to the second point. The Second World War is receding in memory as people get older and memory fades, and sadly the veterans pass. But it's enormous cost to the world. It just can't be calculated. There are figures that can be quoted. 60 million people passing in the war, most of them civilians. Incredible loss of treasure and cultural heritage, and cities destroyed, lives lost, careers never led. Both what you can calculate and what you can't make it an immeasurable cost. And to the generation that lived it, it would have been inconceivable. You'd forget about it or its lessons. But now, 2 generations later, we can see that, we're human, we're mortal. These things do pass, however awful they may be at the moment. It will be difficult for us to describe to our grandchildren what 9/11 really meant. Just like listening to my grandparents, it's hard for me to grasp what December 7th, 1941 really meant. So what you do is you hold back the dark one more day.
And Portland Harbor played a significant role as well in the war.
That it did. In fact, the harbor you can see right behind me never went dark. It was the staging grounds for the North Atlantic Fleet. The North Atlantic Fleet was headquartered here. It is where the great convoys were lined up just beyond the Sound, out toward the open ocean. But the glow never went away from the horizon. The great convoys that would take those supplies I've mentioned to Murmansk and Archangel, it's where the supply convoys were lined up, meaning staged, for the invasion of North Africa, Operation Torch in 1943, and for the invasion at Normandy, June 6, 1944, 2 dates that changed the world. And they all started here in some large part. So we played a large part, and it would be incredible to the generation that lived it and fought it to imagine that any piece of it could ever be forgotten. But time takes its toll.
My name is Walter Wheeler, and it's D-Day Memories. 65 years ago, I was there at D-Day, June 6, 1944, and on a Liberty ship parked off the coast of France, with its gun aimed at Normandy and of Hitler's army. I was a sight setter on a 3-inch 50 gun in the bow of the boat. Of one of the thousands of ships, as far as the eye could see, I knew I was in the middle of a big thing, but I was feeling kind of small. I was a skinny 18-year-old kid from Maine, doing my duty and thinking of home. And by the way, that Liberty ship I was on was built in South Portland, Maine. It was a Hadley F. Brown.
Why is this so important, the 65th anniversary? Why is this so important to keep this word going about what World War II is all about?
Well, I think that's the only way the word's going to get out, because even now we go to the high school, Marshwood High School, and speak to the 8th graders there to tell them about World War II. Otherwise than that, they're not going to know anything about World War II. And so we've been doing this, and then we went to a couple other schools and did the same thing. So the children that's in school and junior high school, they're going to know something about World War II. Otherwise than that, they wouldn't know anything about it.
I'm here with Eston Christensen. Eston, tell me a little bit about what this occasion means to you, this memorial service.
Well, to get together with and meet some of the old timers and also some of them are later than when I was in. But I did meet some that came in D-Day, same time as I did, only they came by boat and I came in by air, by glider. I was in the glider artillery in a glider artillery. We landed behind the enemy lines, followed the paratroopers in. So that was a little different than today the helicopters replaced the gliders. So that's something, I think that was more scary than the paratroopers, because we landed all over the place, in trees and up against hedgerow. I landed against the hedgerow, and we had a job to get the glider out of the howitzer out of the glider. You had to get it back away from the hedgerow. You can go open the front up to get it out. Some gliders had jeeps, and others had 15 men in them, so they were good-sized gliders.
What's the number one message that you would want to leave to the younger generations?
Well, I don't know. If you could, I wish they could do away with these wars, because I don't think they actually, of course World War II did, but the wars that got today are not solving any problems. They're going to continue fighting over there regardless. So I don't know. I'd like to see them all stay home actually now. It's getting to the point where it's a different type of war than what we were in.
We will now have the laying of the memorial wreath.
Veterans, attend, hut, hand salute.
Ready, aim, fire, aim, fire, aim, fire.
Present.
For Committee Update, I'm Bill Blood.